Shannon is an icon in international aviation. One of Europe's first transatlantic airports, home to the longest runway in Ireland and the world's first duty-free.
This is great. This is what it's all about.
But recent years have been tough, with a huge decline in passenger numbers. Now Shannon's fighting back, with a new boss and new ideas.
I think ideas are important. You need to do things differently and you need to do different things.
But it won't be easy, as the staff take on the challenges of reviving Shannon's fortunes while dealing with the day-to-day demands of an international airport.
So I'm the housekeeper. I mind the fort. I do what needs to be done.
Coming up, Shannon welcomes an aviation megastar.
There's only one in the world, so it's special.
The terminal hosts a grand unveiling.
Like a tape to the glass eye, so it would...
And love is in the air. It's 2:30 a.m. at Shannon. The only signs of life are the Munster rugby team returning from an away match. But there's excitement airside as the airport braces itself for the arrival of a very big name in world aviation.
Hello, Shannon Airport. It'll be here at 2:45.
Duty manager Carmel Donlan has been taking calls all evening about the imminent arrival, and a large crowd of onlookers has already gathered at the perimeter fence.
Oh, it's huge. It's great. I mean, social media is fantastic, and it's just been rocketed since people have realised. Since we confirmed yesterday that it was definitely coming in.
And this is why the crowd are standing in the rain. For the first time in 2 years, the world's biggest airplane, the Antonov 225, is coming into land. Weighing in at 285 tons and with a wingspan of 88 metres, it holds 200 world records, including carrying the world's heaviest and longest airlift cargo.
She's called Myra, which means dream. She has 6 engines, the landing gear of 32 wheels, and has to land on a runway which is over 3,000 metres in length. Our runway is 3,199 metres. So we're the only runway in Ireland and the only airport that can facilitate it. I love it. See, this is what makes the job, doesn't it? It makes it, just the little things, I suppose. Or the big things.
Because of its size, the Antonov doesn't fit on a normal airport stand, so a special area has been closed off for its maintenance and refueling. Carmel can't resist climbing on board for a snoop.
Oh my God, it's massive. Now I can go back to everybody and say, guess what I did on my night shift? Steep steps. Now, hey, good night's work done in the rain.
No sooner has Carmel left than the plane receives its next excited visitor, Airport Police Officer Brian Corry.
You just get a sense of the size of it when you're walking around it. This is where it all happens. You kind of think you were going back in the dark ages maybe when you look at this. It looks fairly old.
These days, the Antonov is a cargo plane for hire, travelling around the world with a crew of 21.
Just some sort of avionics bay or whatever there. A few bits and pieces of shopping and bring them back.
It may be an impressive feat of engineering, but it's not exactly glamorous. Events like the visit of the Antonov bring a much-needed boost to Shannon, which is finding its feet after some years of decline. Leading the renewal of the airport is CEO Neil Pakey, who's fond of big ideas.
The board here have made it very clear, look guys, we have an opportunity here to develop this business. So come up with good ideas and create the sense of place that Shannon deserves.
And Neil feels the airport's terminal deserves a centerpiece that everyone will talk about.
We came up with this one idea of a sculpture based around Croke Park in 2007.
The historic Croke Park rugby match between Ireland and England had many highlights, but there's one moment that came to define that day.
Paul O'Connell winning a line-out, and Paul O'Connell, of course, being a local lad here. So the sculpture is of that iconic moment in the iconic match, which for us is much more about Ireland's history than it is about a rugby match against England.
You have a plan for me, you have?
While Neil and the board come up with the big ideas, it's down to Director of Operations Niall Maloney to implement them. And he's about to get his first view of the plan.
Open and let us see what you
Open
have
up
for
and
us.
see the damage. And I'm curious, if you don't like it, I might go back to the drawing board. But there's it's your airport.
I've
Niall.
never known for my artistic taste,
It's
but
your
in terms of
airport. But you know, getting that sense of place that this is Ireland. We're an international airport of Ireland. It's full bronze. It's potentially 6 meters high.
6 meters, 20 feet.
So shall I just walk you to where I'm
That's
envisioning
big.
it?
Yeah, all right, okay. Let's see where they're going to put it. And I would. Yeah, all right, okay.
There's
Right.
an X here that marks the spot, and if you look at the air, the lightness, the high ceilingness,
Okay.
nature, this spot here is straight through the front door, and for me this would be the best spot. The thing, of course, the big question is,
Yeah, okay.
would it interfere with the check-in operation?
Does it fit here? Yes.
Yes.
Putting in the middle of the floor doesn't really have any operation implications because it's not interfering with the check-in. If it comes in one piece, absolutely is going to be a challenge.
Right.
With the question of where to put the 20-foot sculpture settled, Neil raises another concern.
It's important that next to nobody knows, because you know the moment it gets out, it would probably be big news. He's suitably bemused, I would say.
Not a very artistic person myself, but obviously it's actually the challenge of getting into the Shannon building, I would say, looking at the size. So anyway, man, yeah, happy to see a statue like that. And I suppose the operational person comes into me now. How do we get the damn bloody thing into the Shannon building?
Huge crowds have gathered at the airport's perimeter. Plane enthusiasts have travelled from all over Ireland to see the world's biggest plane for themselves. Inside the terminal, one enthusiast in particular can't wait for his shift on passenger screening to end. Martin Smith has worked at Shannon for 25 years, and for a self-confessed plane nut, it's a dream come true.
It's just an exciting career to be in. It's always changing. I suppose some people are into cars, some people are into airplanes, and I happen to be into airplanes.
So into airplanes that Martin's model collection has outgrown his home and ended up filling Shannon's recently opened aviation gallery.
These aircraft I've collected over 17 years, which the airport purchased from me. Well, you can double this place from what I've got. So it is a bit sad seeing them, but it's nice to see them. They're being displayed for future generations. I still keep collecting them, so it's a passion. So I suppose at the end of the day, it's it's sad to see that I don't have them anymore, but as I say, I can always visit them. I suppose people might think that a bit strange, but when you've been collecting something for so long, they kind of become part of the furniture. But they're in a good place and then displayed nicely, so I'm happy enough.
For the lucky staff at the airport, there's VIP access to the Antonov, and for the families, a special moment to share with their kids. And once he's clocked off, Martin seizes a rare chance to share his love of aircraft with his son Ben.
Is that really on your net airplane?
It's longer, a lot longer. Yeah, it's massive. You probably get about 1.5 widths of that Rhino plane there into that one of them wings alone, give or take. See the 6 engines on it? This was originally built to carry the Russian space shuttle, the Buran, but they never actually flew into space. But this thing, there's only one in the world, so it's special.
Ben looks suitably impressed. Perhaps Dad's enthusiasm has rubbed off.
You know, hopefully someday he'll work here or pick something in the aviation field. If he sticks his school out, that is.
Neil Pakey is in Dublin to see the new statue commissioned for Shannon. He's met by its sculptor, Paddy Campbell.
That's looking fantastic.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
It looks
Yeah, I must say
awesome.
I'm very happy, but I mean, you're the guy who really matters, and I'm very emotional about it now. It's the very first time I've ever seen it in one piece.
An iconic piece for Ireland. It's going to be brilliant. when we launch it.
But before any launch, the big challenge will be getting the 20-foot tall statue into the airport.
We have to get it on a truck. We have to take off the top of the Paul O'Connell's body from the hip up so that it'll fit under bridges and things like that. And also when we take it to the airport, we have to take out part of the wall of the airport with glass so it'll fit through.
Not that that's bothering an excited Neil.
The great thing about my operations people in Shannon, I'm sure there's lots of problems along the way in terms of the logistics, but my trust is in them implicitly. They say,
in Shannon Airport, the staff get all sorts of strange requests. Today, duty manager Natasha Naughton is helping out a couple of lovebirds.
We have a very unusual request today. We have a couple that have just got married and they've asked if they get their photos taken with an aircraft. So Aer Lingus have obliged us. But the only problem is we've got a very fast turnaround. This is a live flight, so it's going to come in from Heathrow and go out to Heathrow. So we have about, I suppose, a 10-minute gap that we're going to get these photographs taken.
To complete the picture, she's raiding a VIP suite for a few essential props.
I'm actually looking for champagne glasses. I'm not having much luck. I'll bring out 2 of these glasses, but they're not exactly champagne glasses. We have our bottle of champagne and we have our glasses. So now all we need is the happy couple, and they should be here about 4:20. We get a lot of enthusiasts actually. Phone calls from people who want, looking for permission to take photographs of aircrafts. We don't mind once we know that they're genuine aircraft enthusiasts, we'll say, or aerosexuals, as they're also known.
So the champagne is on ice and the plane is due any minute. But there's no sign of the happy couple. And with only a 10-minute window to get their picture taken, the clock is ticking.
Okay, they're running late now. It's 16:27.
All Natasha can do is wait. The sculpture commissioned for Shannon's terminal has arrived, and Director of Operations Niall Maloney is on hand to meet it.
Let the fun begin.
Overseeing the delicate job of getting it into the building is the responsibility of engineering manager John O'Leary.
We've done the measurements. There's always an element of doubt with a job like this that hasn't been done before, but we should be okay. We should be okay.
On top of that, John has the added worry of keeping the airport's new pride and joy under wraps.
We'll have some prying eyes, but hopefully the words won't get out that what's under it, but we'll have to hope for the best.
No sooner has work begun than CEO Neil Pakey arrives, and he's immediately concerned.
the way it is at the moment on the truck, it's pretty damn obvious what it is because there's not, it's not covered up. You're keeping them to yourself for just now, yeah? They're not going to be on your Twitter account.
Oh no, just me.
Yeah, you're not your Facebook page or anything.
That's it now.
With high winds, a small margin for error, and an anxious CEO, the pressure's on John.
So he's right on the glass.
Only about 6 inches of a high clearance between.
Oh, really? I think this may be a rather longer exercise than I first of all thought.
The statue finally makes it inside.
Feeling good when it's upright.
But Neil is still concerned that word of the mysterious delivery will get out.
Well, how much of it are you covering? Everything.
We'll cover everything.
I'm excited about that.
Natasha is still waiting for a newly married couple whose wish is to have their wedding photos taken with a plane. But with little time before it departs, their dream is in danger of taking flight.
We'll wait, we'll give them time. We'll think positive. We'll have to drink the champagne ourselves.
With only a few minutes to go, the bridal car eventually turns up.
How are you? If you just bring it around here.
However, there's no time to waste. Natasha sends the couple, car and all, directly to the plane. They've made it by the skin of their teeth.
Shane loves airplanes, and it's his dream to be part of airplanes.
I've loved planes since I was I like Aer Lingus's colours, I always have them. Theirs was the first plane I had years ago, 747 model.
And for the groom, it was worth all the effort.
You heard Shane talking there, about Aer Lingus 747, so that just, to reassure you like that he's here because he's an aircraft enthusiast and he's followed them a long time. So it's great. It's nice. It's nice. He's happy. He's delighted anyway, and it's his day.
This is my moment.
And I'm just obliging.
While life continues at Shannon, passengers and staff don't pay much attention to the large object standing in the corner. It's the day before the statue's grand unveiling, and after an area of the terminal has been closed off, the star of the show is moved into position. Sculptor Paddy Campbell is on site to ensure the perfect angle for his work.
You can actually see John Hayes' back.
Yeah.
And you can see his trunk, but here you just see the side on. Yeah, we were trying to get the angle from which this photograph was taken. It's just exactly perfect. So I'm very happy with that.
Once in place, the statue needs to be covered again before it's officially revealed tomorrow. So Niall has recruited his wife, Grania, to construct a supersized drape.
Look at that thread in the first go. I can't even see.
She who must be obeyed, seamstress, is here. We'll try and do a couple of dummy runs with the cover. See, does it work? It was demonstrated in our kitchen. In our kitchen at home, me standing on a chair with a shroud over me to see it pull off. It worked at 10 foot. The question is now, will it work at 25 feet? Ah, come on, John, will you do a fishing line?
The first test run is less than successful. So after a few alterations, Niall takes command for the second attempt.
Fine. Yeah, just see what happens.
With a more encouraging result.
Second go, it worked fine. So all comes to happen on Friday in terms of the unveiling.
It's the end of the Shannon stopover for the Antonov 225. John Lillis from Signature Flight Support has been managing the aircraft's overnight visit.
These guys are great because they tend to look after themselves. They're pretty good that way. They never make any weird requests or any of that kind of stuff. It's just they get in, they get out. Was the hotel was okay and everything? You a good stay?
As usual.
As usual. No complaints. Everyone just wants to get a photograph of it. The terminal is booming inside over it. So, yeah, with everything from the Clare Champion to the Clare Herald, and I suppose Facebook as well. It's been massively advertised.
The plane's Ukrainian crew are eager to leave, but there seems to be a little confusion over their departure time.
I don't know. He would have to contact the tower. If you can say it to the captain as well, because when my colleague spoke to him, I don't know if he understood. I'm not sure. Thank you very much. Great. Okay. There's a bit of confusion there with the pilot. So he wanted to take off a little earlier than he was supposed to, but the tower wouldn't let him.
But before the Antonov moves off, John wants to ensure its taxi area is completely cleared.
We have a portable light stand over there. It's used for when aircraft are refueling out here. But the problem is that the power on these engines here, you could literally pick it up and just whip it across the airfield. It's just savage.
Though the temporary lighting looks out of range of the plane's engines, a decision is made to move them just in case.
Here we go. Over there. Jeez, he's starting up. He's starting up. This after coming to her. She's not just catching it all even. Right, that might hold in the swing someday. Alright. Go through it.
Not a moment too soon, the lights are moved and the team retreat to a safe distance.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck over here now. He kind of started up out of surprise there, so No fair play to the lads, they got to move down there fairly fast and finish.
The biggest plane in the world waits for no one and leaves in as big a commotion as it arrived. The big day is finally here. The sculpture for the terminal is to be unveiled to the media, and a select gathering of guests, including the 3 rugby internationals depicted in the work. But there's a problem. As the expectant crowd waits and players John Hayes and Paul O'Connell put in an appearance, there's somebody missing.
Hello, Donica. 9 Maloney Shannon Airport, Donica. How are you? Not too bad. What part of the road are you on at this stage?
Donica O'Callaghan is running late.
He's just coming up towards UL on that motorway.
How far's that? 20 minutes?
25 minutes, yeah.
There's only one thing Niall and Neil can do to stall for time. Schmooze.
Hey, how are you? How are you? Nice to see you.
You could put on a jersey yourself. You could pretend to be Duncan.
I could, yeah. I've got the bill.
Just get them to hurry up.
So, we're all...
Niall's wife Grania is far more concerned that her drape will drop without a hitch.
That goes completely wrong. I'm out. Gone.
So we just keep pulling like this.
Keep pulling.
Yes, yeah, but
So
not
it's
down,
easy to-
not down, Paul, straight out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can have your attention for just one moment, please. I don't want to disturb you too much. We were due to get underway around about now. With Donegal O'Callaghan, being Donegal O'Callaghan, it's 10 minutes late.
I'm going to get 9 Maloney back to Donica. How far out you are? So when you approach the building, go in the inner lane, and there'll be somebody up the barrier to let you through. We'll see you there in 5 minutes then, no problem. Rose, yeah, get your man started. Just put it in, right? Okay, thank you. Hi, Donica, how are you? Thanks for coming along. How are you? Get yourself started out again. No problem. Great to see you.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm
half
thrown together now from training.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, the other half is because when you come in here now, they're going to be saying, "Here he is, Donica, late again."
Yeah, exactly.
No problem. But you won't get fined this time.
Believe me, I will get fined. The worst slagging from that group.
Yeah, fix the back of the jacket. I literally want to be. Yeah, no problem. No problem. All right.
With all 3 players finally present, it's time to kick off proceedings.
We've all been to airports and have walked straight past sculptures and art installations. Something tells me there won't be too many walking straight past this one.
And it's the big test for Grania's drape. Everyone can finally relax.
18 months since I told you about this.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah? Does it sort of feel like what we talked about all that time ago?
It does, and more.
It'd bring a tear to a glass eye, so...
Next time, diplomatic incidents.
You need to explain it to the Chinese.
I did.
Battling birds, and a big surprise for an unsuspecting hen.